Attorney General Phil Weiser. Welcome to you, Mr. Attorney General. I want to go to Justice Gorsuch's opinion because he had this to say specifically about your state's anti-discrimination law. He said, under Colorado's logic, the government may compel anyone who speaks for pay on a given topic to accept all commissions on that same topic, no matter the underlying message.
What he's trying to say is that here someone had a free speech interest that was being implicated in a negative way. But the problem, first off, you said it well, this is a made-up case. This was based on hypotheticals, and the court didn't have to deal with the whole equation. In a real case, you'd have a victim who is denied services, and the consequences of the court's ruling would be much more self-evident.
Wait a second. If you heard that right, there it is, Colorado Attorney General talking about how there was a non-existent person or entity in this case that the Supreme Court just decided for real life, except they were doing it in fantasy land. Apparently that's what it is that's going on. Matter of fact, let's look at this headline from the Washington Post that pointed this out and gave some details. Man cited in Supreme Court LGBTQ rights case says he was never involved. Wow, how does that happen? Let's go to this next graphic and find out. Stewart is the man's name. He doesn't want to give more information on him. Was working on his couch in Portland, Oregon home last week when he received a text from New Republic reporter that left him flabbergasted, they said. A request he appeared to have made in 2016 at a Colorado artist, to create designs and possibly a website for his same-sex wedding was now part of the case before the US Supreme Court. That's what the reporter said to him. Stewart, who didn't want his full name used out of fear of being harassed, says he's not even gay. In fact, he said he's been married to a woman for 15 years and he's a web designer himself. So if he wanted a website for he and his gay wedding, he may have done it himself. Maybe he's be too stressed. So he's asking someone else that you'll find out also may not make websites. There's more. Lori Smith is the woman who started with this lawsuit. It was a pre-enforcement challenge. It didn't hinge on Stewart's request, but ADF cited it repeatedly to support their arguments as the case made its way through the court system. This guy who had nothing to do with it was cited repeatedly as it made its way through the court system. Does that really make a lot of sense? I'm not a legal analyst, maybe it does. There's more though. The revelation makes the case even harder to stomach. Justice Sotomayor said in her dissent, the case already rested on a tenuous claim of injury. Smith's company, 303 Creative LLC, had never actually created a wedding website for anyone. So not only did the person that they were citing as being the reasons why this whole thing started, now they're pulling back more rights from certain folks in America, but also the person who's complaining about it may not even be in that business. So, quick recap, Jess. I'm mad about something in the country because some politicians and pundits told me to be mad about it. So I make up a case from someone who had nothing to do with me about a business that apparently I don't do so that I can get this through the court systems. Yet we hear people bitching and complaining about the waste of money in our court systems and then how we need to be more efficient in the best justice system in the world. It seems like this is looking for an answer of hate, and now you have to generate some kind of situation to get yourself there.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear that the Supreme Court is making decisions in a political way. When you look at the 7,000 to 8,000 appeals or petitions or writs of certiorari that the Supreme Court gets, they have a lot of discretion. They have a lot of cases that they can pick from. And they definitely pick intentionally which cases they want to hear. Would they pick a case that's based on hypotheticals and about a business that never actually sold a wedding website, a case that's made up? Maybe there were some other cases in there that were made up, but maybe there were real cases that they declined to hear that were of a higher importance legally in the country. So it seems to me that they picked this case for the political purpose of wanting to rule on this exact kind of thing after we saw the wedding cake case become such a scandal. They wanted to find a way to make discriminatory behavior seem like free speech. And I agree that it's a dangerous legal precedent to say if you're a small business and you want to hear this or you want to have a website posted, you have to make it, you have to do the write-up, you have to portray, statements that you disagree with, that we're happily married and also we're two women, we're a couple that is gay. If you disagree because of your religion or whatever, that gay people should be married and you're very religious and you don't want to post that, That's freedom of speech, but it doesn't seem like that ever even happened. I'm of the thinking that sounds right to me, that if I ran a t-shirt company and somebody wanted some far right Nazi or racist rhetoric printed on a t-shirt, I should have a right to say no on free speech grounds. If this was a case where someone was, denied access to a restaurant or was told no simply because of their race, their gender identity, or their sexual identity, that would be very clearly discrimination. But it seems to me that they're doing this workaround argument on a made up case so that people can use this as an excuse when maybe it's not actually the case that it's a free speech problem in the future. But then they use this as a legal precedent so that they can discriminate.
You were talking about how they need to make this up for political purposes within the court. Though it's the one part about this. Let's jump down to the last slide, you guys, with Mitch McConnell. Because if you remember, Mitch McConnell was blocking Supreme Court justice nominations from every Democratic president that he could in recent years, specifically Obama. And he said he would also do it with Joe Biden as well. But the hypocrisy led us to this then point. Mitch McConnell was always talking about how his main goal is to make sure the court is stacked full of conservatives. Again, what part about that is American? The partisan court, is that what you would want? Either way it goes, he said that, and now we have the made up cases that were presented to this court that was put together for the sole purpose of taking away people's rights and screwing up other folks' lives in this country. Here's a Mitch McConnell here, remembering how much he loves this nefarious plan that he put in place, because people keep forgetting he's the mastermind. Donald Trump was just a part of it. Watch.
The American people should have a say in the court's direction. Our view is this: give the people a voice in filling this vacancy.
If the Supreme Court justice was to die next year, what would you do?
We'd fill it.
Let's say somebody were to retire at the end of this year, leading into the summer. You have been very clear, if the president appointed somebody, you would follow through on that nomination.
Absolutely. We definitely would do that. Sean, the most important decision I've made in my entire political career was not to fill the Supreme Court vacancy when Justice Scalia passed away. Barack Obama did 55 circuit judges in 8 years. We've done 50 in 3 years, and we have at least a year left for sure. We're going to do more.
I was shocked that former President Obama left so many vacancies and didn't try to fill those positions.
I'll tell you why. I was in charge of of what we did the last 2 years of the Obama administration.
I will give you full credit for that. And by the way, take a bow. All right, that was a good.
He's not really a human, is he? But still, he broke it completely down. We're here to destroy certain people's lives. If you're an American that we don't like, F you. We don't want you here. But that's patriotism to them. Again, destroying other folks' lives based off of this grand scheme. By the way, Mitch McConnell's the same guy who only gets along with Donald Trump so that he can do exactly that. The number one thing of my entire political career was to stack this court so we can screw people over. Donald Trump calls his wife all kinds of racist names quite regularly, while she worked for him, and they made tons of money off of corrupt deals and practices behind her being a part of his administration. But the number one thing for Mitch McConnell is getting this done. That's why he put up with Trump long enough. He had plenty of times to toss Trump off of the ledge, but he needed this. Don't forget Mitch McConnell in all this.